Hi guys, this is Ranjit and welcome to the 10th Tech Q&A session for 2020, and I've got a bunch of questions, and in the later part of the video I've taken some questions regarding EVs also, because I had purchased a EV car just a few weeks ago, and some of you had some very interesting questions about that, so I'll also take them up. But let's get on with this one. And the first question that I got is from Mr. Doctor. Interesting question. He says, which smartphone impressed you the most in 2022, since it's almost the end of the year? A pretty interesting questions. Okay, let me just give you my top phones which I felt actually were pretty good. This year I feel the iPhone disappointed to me, and though I have the iPhone 14 Pro, I was not impressed with this. That dynamic notch or something was just so iPhone didn't impress me. Coming to Android phones, I would say definitely the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro come to the top of my mind in terms of flagships. I'm currently actually using the Pixel 7 Pro as my personal smartphone. The only con that I have with this smartphone is that I don't know, I'm having proximity sensor issues on this one. I don't know if it's specific to my unit, because also I got one update on this one, but still I have that proximity sensor issue. Apart from that, it's very good phone. In fact, I don't have the proximity sensor issue on the Pixel 7. So if you don't like that big size phone, I feel Pixel 7 is a very good phone. Apart from that, I would say the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra actually also impressed me very much. Apart from the front-facing camera, I would say overall it does better than the Pixel 7 Pro in terms of battery life and some of the other things. But yeah, the front-facing camera is not that good on that one. Then in mid-rangers this year, hardly a few of them I liked it. One that comes to my mind is the Nothing Phone 1, actually impressed me. And also if you can get the Pixel 6a, earlier on the sales it was for about 34,000. That is also a good option. But the Pixel 6a I feel heats up a little bit more. That way the Nothing Phone does not heat up that much. One of my cousins actually just about 3 weeks ago had purchased the Nothing Phone, and she complained that that one is also having a proximity sensor issue. I don't know what's happening with these modern smartphones, but apart from that it was good. So it might be again a unit issue. So these were my pick. Apart from that, in Samsung's I feel the foldable, the Fold 4 is now very refined. If you're looking for foldables, yes, the Flip 4 was also a good phone. So if you're in foldables, yes, you can go with this one. But apart from that, I would say there is one smartphone that impressed me that much, and many of the smartphones after updates were plagued with hardware issues, like the screen, particularly if it's an AMOLED smartphone, having issues with the screen getting green lines or something like that. And recently it started happening even to the iPhone. So I don't know what is the quality control that is happening in the industry. So that way I'm saddened, but these were my picks overall, I would say, this year. Okay, moving to the next one. This is by Aresh. Hey Ranjit, is it advisable to upgrade to the Z Fold 4 from the S22 Ultra or wait for the S23 Ultra? Please advise. I would say the S23 Ultra is for you. Wait for that if you are particularly hyper focused about the camera performance. If that is the case, then you can look at the S23 Ultra. But if camera is not your super highest criteria, then I feel the Fold 4, if you can manage to wait, you'll get used to that wait in about 2 weeks. Then I feel this is a more innovative and a more productive device. The cameras are good enough, but cameras won't be as good as the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra or the S23 Ultra. That's my pick. I would say I'm perfectly happy with the camera performance on this one. I used this smartphone as my primary for some time, and I took a lot of photographs and posted it on social media, and nobody complained. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Buggy, interesting name. Could you please tell me which is the best of Galaxy Buds series with ANC, sound quality, battery life? Me like slightly higher base. He says alternatives are okay too. Budget about 10,000. Lost my Buds Plus, or maybe it got stolen or thrown away by the maid. Ouch. Okay, so if you're specifically okay with the Samsung Galaxy Buds, you can have a look at the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. I've seen that in sales or sometime in Amazon. They go as low as 7,000-8,000. So that is actually a nice option. The Buds 2 Pro are still actually very good. But again, even the Buds 2 are not bad, I would say. And now the pricing is pretty competitive. So you can have a look at that one. I would also say the Pixel Buds A But the Pixel Buds A do not have ANC. That's the only con. But in terms of music listening experience, they are also actually very, very good. In fact, Pixel Buds A are the buds TWS that I have given to my daughter, and she loves it. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Vignesh. Hearing some issues on the Pixel 7's modem regarding speed of internet and network reception. Any issues you have faced on network reception? Is it going for S23 Ultra worth a wait than buying the Pixel 7 series now? See, I have used the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro only once on the Pixel 7 Pro. I don't know what happened. It was showing me full signal here on the network, but many people were trying to reach me and the call was not getting. I just rebooted the smartphone and it was fixed. So I don't know what weird, but apart from that, I'm not having any network issues. I've been using it in and out, and this area also we have actually pretty less signal, but the signal reception is okay. Only that one time for some reason it was saying it was getting full signal, it said it was connected to the network, it said, but no calls I was able to have. This happened only once. Once I rebooted it, it did not happen. So for me at least, I'm not having a network issue. As of now, they haven't enabled the 5G on this one. That update hasn't come. So though we have 5G here in Hyderabad, I'm not able to test 5G, but on 4G it's working fine. Anyways, moving to the next one. Apart from that, one more issue, as I told you, proximity sensor issue I'm having on my unit of this Pixel 7 Pro. So check with some other users who are using the Pixel 7 Pro to see if it's having a proximity sensor issue. If they also say it's having a proximity sensor issue, then definitely it's a hardware issue on this Pixel 7 Pro. On the Pixel 7, I didn't have that issue. This is by Karthik. Any scope of iPhones getting affordable as they might start manufacturing in India? Yes, iPhones will be manufacturing in India. In fact, quite a few models do. I think so you're specifically looking for the Pro, I guess. I doubt Apple will reduce the pricing as of now, because understand guys, Apple moving their production from some of the lines from China to India, it does cost, and Apple will not pass on that benefit immediately to India. So don't expect the iPhone's pricing to fall immediately as of now. Maybe eventually after a couple of years it might happen, but knowing Apple how they work, that's not going to happen anytime soon, at least for their latest models. Some of the older models, yes, those pricing come down, and in fact we see that in sales. This is by Suraj. What are your thoughts about Samsung? Previously, Samsung used to offer good phones around the 20 to 30,000 price range. Flown close to 15,000 had AMOLED displays. Looking the specs of recently launched upcoming phones, feels like Samsung just releasing phones to fill the void. Suraj, I completely agree with you. And that's the reason if you see my channel, I've almost stopped actually reviewing mid-range Samsung smartphones, because this year, I hardly liked any of the mid-range offerings from Samsung. Every phone that I looked at it, I critically look at phones, it had some issue or the other. Maybe the processor was not good, or some of the other specs were very, very mediocre. So I don't know what's wrong with Samsung. This year, this complete 2022, I would say, they bungled up the almost mid-range pricing. Don't talk about the A73 and all those things. Those are priced at like what? Okay, I'm talking about decent mid-range versions. So this year I was actually pretty disappointed with Samsung's mid-range lineup. Okay, this is by Pawan. I feel Google needs to collaborate with Mediatek in designing their native Tensor chipsets rather than opting for Samsung. It's because Mediatek chipsets are far better in efficiency and performance compared to Exynos. What's your view on it? Yes, I completely agree. Mediatek has been doing great job in the last couple of years, and yes, now they come out the new Mediatek range of smartphones. The latest chipset was just announced. They had a conference just about a week ago. Will be coming, and yes, the big thing with Mediatek is that they're concentrating on efficiency, and they have also become pretty powerful. So yeah, I think so Google should move. So if maybe I don't think so that'll happen, because they are going with Samsung. Then there'll be contracts, but yeah, if they do, the efficiency, the battery life on these Tensor chips will improve. But by the way, I would say the Tensor 2 chip that is there on the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro is far better in terms of thermals and battery life compared to the Tensor 1. That's the reason when people ask me about Pixel 6a, I'm a little bit hesitant, because it heats up a lot, battery life is pretty average. Okay, moving to the next one. This is by Crescent Studios. I need a phone that I'm going to use for the next 2 years. He says, would the Pixel 6a survive or should I extend my budget to the Moto H30 Fusion? I'm really confused as my phone's displays are shattered and I'm waiting for an opportunity to get the phone at the right price. I just told the Pixel 6a, I like it as a phone at the new pricing at 44,000. It was not a good price, I have told in my review, but for 33, 34, it's a decent priced phone. The only thing, as I've told you, the Pixel 6a heats up a little bit, and particularly if the network reception is low, it heats up like crazy because of the modem that is used on this with the combination of the Exynos processor, that is the Tensor 1. So yes, that way I don't like it. Apart from that, it's actually a good phone. See my in-depth review. Moto H30 Fusion, I would say it's decent. But again, Moto H30 Fusion camera, if camera is your highest priority, then again you won't be very happy with that one. The Pixel 7a rumors are started to come up, but I doubt this it will launch as of now. It will be launched somewhere in 2023, early part of 2023, I assume. This is by Rocky. Pixel 7 or Moto H30 Fusion, which phone would you recommend? Obviously, between the Pixel 7 and the Moto H30 Fusion, I would go personally for the Pixel 7, and it's a very good phone, I would say. The camera's performance is good, everything is good, and I'm not having that proximity sensor issue that I'm having on the Pixel 7 Pro. This is by AXUC. Okay, please share insights on EV experience, cost per charge, range per charge, other factors, and it would be sensible for an average Indian to switch to EVs. Please do let us know the pros and cons of both. Oh, a lot of questions. Okay, let me answer a few of them. Just about 2 odd weeks ago, I had purchased the Nexon EV Max, and I would say the cost per charge, again, it will depend on the electricity unit that you have. Currently in our society, it's about for 7 rupees, so it works out to about 1 rupee 10 paisa or 1 rupee 15 paisa per kilometer. That's what it is. Range I'm getting, again, anywhere, this is in city with AC, about 280 kilometers to about 300 kilometers actual range I'm getting. I did one test where I did not switch on the AC, and with that you can get a range of about 350 kilometers. But some people on Twitter told me they use this Max version, Nexon EV Max, without AC on highway, and they're able to get about 370 to 380 kilometers. That is what per charge. Okay, this question is very important because this happened in our family. Should average Indians switch to an electric vehicle, that's electric car? Okay, I'll give you 2 examples. The first is my uncle. He has a Honda City, just about 5-year-old if I recall, and he sat in my Nexon EV Max, and we just drove for about 1. He was so impressed that with the car, how it rides and how smooth it is, that he told me that let's go and book it. But I told him this EV is not for him. The reason why is that he is a doctor and his travel is actually not that much. He just goes to the hospital and comes back, and the roundabout trip is just about 8 kilometers, 4 kilometers, one way, 4 kilometers. Yes, it's heavily traffic area in Jubilee Hills where it's bumper to bumper traffic. So even in his Honda City, he just gets a mileage of about 7 kilometers. And I calculated on an average, his run is just about 250 kilometers. If you even take, let's say, a little bit extra if they travel on weekend, it will be about 300 or 325. And I told him for such a small range of driving, buying an EV car simply does not make any sense, because overall he will not be saving. His argument is that they have a solar panel on the house, so the charging will be free. So I told, for 300 or 400 kilometers, let's say 350 kilometers also, how much electricity will it consume? Nothing more than 400 rupees. So I feel if your run is very, very less, like what my uncle is having, about 250 or 300 kilometers just in a month, then I don't think so the EV simply makes sense. On the other hand, if your run is a lot more, then EV does certainly makes a lot of sense. For example, let's say your monthly run is over 1000 or 1200 kilometers, then EVs will make a lot of sense. For example, I'll give you a personal example of my cousin, and actually that motivated me to get the EV. He is in Gujarat, and he has to go to the factory every day. So his to and fro run is at least about 120 kilometers per day. And he had got the Nexon EV, the older one, the Prime, not the Max, about 7 months ago. And I had spoken to him, and he told me that every month he's saving about 30 to 32,000 on fuel bills because of this Nexon EV that he got. And the simple reason for that is his travel is so much that he's saving that much. So if you're that kind of a person, and he told me that the premium that he paid for the EV will be just paid in the next couple of months, and after that he generally doesn't like to change cars. He just changes cars once in 12 years. He said that if he used this, he plans to use this for next 10-12 years. This EV will pay actually so much that he can buy other cars, because he's telling that average 30 to 32,000 every month he's saving. Multiply that by 12, if you 3,80,000 in fuel cost every year if he's saving, and let's say he keeps it for 10 years, the fuel cost will be just about close to about 40 lakhs. So yeah, if that is the case, yes, the EV makes sense. Personally for me, my travel also has increased quite a bit now, because if I'm not living in the center part of the city, and anytime if I go out, the minimum I travel is about 40 kilometers, average is 70 to 80 kilometers, sometimes even 100 kilometers. So now I moved to an EV, and definitely it is making a difference. I got the EV just about 2 weeks ago, and in just 2 weeks I have traveled about 950 kilometers. And if I convert it, I use petrol vehicles, if I convert, I have saved over actually 10,000 rupees just in 2 weeks in fuel costs. So you have to do the maths. So I feel specifically for EV cars, if your travel is a little bit more, then that premium that you're paying a little bit, you'll recover it very quickly. Otherwise it will take a lot of time. So that's my in fact I'm loving the EV experience. Now I've driven it for about 950 odd kilometers. Beautiful vehicle, man. In fact, this rarely happens. I knew it will be good and everything. I expected this, and it is performing like this, I would say. That rarely happens with me. So overall, I'm very happy. But again, as I've told you, it's not for everyone. But some people were asking me on Twitter, their total run is just about 300 odd kilometers. Should we get an EV car? Then it simply does not make that much of a financial sense, I would say. Yes, if you're upgrading to a new car, you have to buy a new car. Yes, go for it. But again, do a little bit of maths also, I would say. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Vivek. Fast charger versus slow charger. I'm aware of the advantages of fast charger, but does it affect the longevity of the battery, or is just a myth? My question is connection with both EV and mobile phones and tablet. Okay, let's talk about mobile phones. In many of the mobile phones these days, you're getting fast charger, 65 watt. The Motorola H23 Ultra gets a 125 watt charger. Other is also bundling 120 watt charger. And for smartphones with that specific charger, it is okay, because the batteries are generally split into two for faster charging. And you use a phone for about 3 years, 4 years, and you'll replace it. But for electric vehicles or something like that, it is different. It's actually not advisable to charge electric vehicles with fast chargers all the time. In fact, in the Nexon EV's manual, in fact, it is written that after every 3 or 4 fast charge cycles, you have to do a slow charge. So for, yes, electric vehicles, every time doing fast charging is not a good idea. Yes, you can do 3-4 fast charges. If you're on a highway, you'll have to do it. But after that, they recommend that you do the regular slow charge, that is the overnight charge, once, to balance out the batteries. To just give you an idea, how many batteries, for example, let's say this is one battery that we have in a smartphone. On a typical electric car, we'll have about batteries 4,000 times the batteries that we have on this one. Just imagine that. Yeah, that's what is the capacity of batteries that we have on EVs. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Mr. Anish. What is the future of Asus phones for, or we should stop buying them for long-term usage, as their after-sales and space availability is so limited? Yes, Anish, I think so. Asus is sort of indirectly wound up their mobile phone division in India. Except the ROG smartphones, they are also not launching their other phones in India. Even the Z series or something, that compact one, they didn't launch in India. So yes, I don't think so, and I don't think so they are going to come back in the mid-range smartphone market. So it's only their gaming smartphones, that is ROG phones, that they are selling in India, and I don't think so the situation will change. Anyways, moving, this is my Mr. Gupta, which is the most affordable and practical two-wheeler EV in Indian market. Okay, the words affordable and practical just don't go with two-wheeler EVs. If you know, with a lot of two-wheeler EVs, we had a lot of fire issues and all these things because they were trying to make it cheap, use cheap batteries, didn't have all the safety measures. Among two-wheeler EVs, the best track record, if I look at it, the Ather has the best track record till now. The Ather two-wheelers didn't blow up like many other two-wheelers EV. The reason is that with two-wheelers EV, again, the battery does not have active cooling. For example, in many of the four-wheelers, that is cars, etc., that have EVs, they have liquid cooling and all this thing. That is not possible with two-wheelers. So again, that cheap and best is a relatively different. I would say if I have to buy a two-wheeler EV as of now, I will trust Ather more than many of the other brands. Sorry about that, got a call. Okay, this is by Mr. It's Ravna. Okay, I had to purchase a laptop budget under rupees 90,000. He says, of which company should I buy? Asus, Dell or HP, and which laptop can last for a long time? Okay, I'll give you a general gist so that you can decide. What I've noticed in the laptop market is that as of now, at least in India, Dell and HP do charge quite a bit of a premium even for the laptops. If you look at the configuration from, let's say, Acer or Asus, those will be priced significantly lower compared to HP or Dell. I would say HP is just overpriced. They just charge a lot of premium because of the looks and all those things. So that way, I would say you can have if you are ready to pay that premium, you can have a look at Dell. Dell after sales is good. But again, if you want that value and performance thing, then look at Asus or even Acer laptops. That's my frank opinion. Okay, this is by Chef Vishal. Why don't we see rear seat entertainment in budget cars or as an option? What are the best rear seats entertainment, or is iPad the best? Vishal, I would say you will not find rear seat screens or etc. on budget cars or even mid-range cars. For example, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, actually had driven it, used it for a while, actually has a screen at the rear, and that's nothing but a Samsung tablet. Yes, the only thing is, if you just put it in the dock, what it has, it charges automatically, and it has some interface where you can control the AC's temperature and all those things. But again, why do you want to spend extra for that? I would say, I'm just assuming that you have children at the rear and you're going for long drives, they get cranky. Best thing is, give them a cheap Android tablet or an iPad, as I've told you, and that'll do a far better job, to be frank. Anyways, moving to the next one. This is by Jobender Singh. It's been more than 2 years since PS5 launched, and not everyone is able to get hands on the PS5. I also couldn't get the PS5, so I got for the Xbox Series X. Moreover, so Sony increased the price in international market, and yes, it also increased in India. Do you think they don't see India as a hub of gaming? That's why they don't send that much units here. The thing is, Jobender Singh, is that the PS5 is in short supply all over the world. It's not like it's in India. So, and India, I would say, for gaming consoles is not a very big market where Sony or Microsoft are selling every year millions of units. So it's a relatively small market. So first they are trying to actually satisfy the demand in established markets. So that's why we don't want to see a lot of units of PS5. I also tried waiting for the PS5 for about 5 months. Then eventually one day I saw on Amazon the Xbox Series X, which was also out of stock for a long time, came, and I purchased the Xbox Series X. I actually have all the gaming consoles. In fact, have the PS4 Pro also. And what I realized is that I just don't play the PlayStation exclusive. The games that I play are FPS games. For example, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. These are the games that I played. So I just went with the Xbox Series X. But yeah, the PS has some very good exclusives. If you are into that, for example, Uncharted and God of War are the two games I played earlier. Both of them a little bit enjoyed. But again, 99% of the time I play FPS games. So I was okay with the Xbox Series X. And with the Xbox you have that what is that, Game Pass or something. So that way actually I tried a lot of third party new games because of the Game Pass. That's actually a pretty good feature. And many of the older some of the, what do you say, AAA titles also you can play for free with the Game Pass. Game Pass subscription, not free, Game Pass subscription. Okay, this is by Karthik. Using TWS, having any health issues? I heard some people get headache. Is it safe to use? Okay, with TWS, I would say these are not the safest, because with the TWS, you are just putting the earbuds, pushing them inside your ears. And if you use it daily for a very long time, it will cause discomfort. In fact, the best of the best TWS, after 1.5 hours, give me little bit pain or numbness in my ears. That's a fact. So for long listening sessions, I prefer regular headphones compared to TWS. Yes, but I do use TWS for example morning walks and all those things. They look discreet and they actually sound pretty good. But long-term usage, if you are a person who wears your earphones or something for more than 3-4 hours every day, then I would say TWS is not a good thing. It can it will create a little bit of discomfort in your ears, and also can cause fungal issues and all those things. So got to be careful with that. So yeah. So that's my take about TWS. So guys, this was the last question. So guys, this was the end of this tech Q&A session. So do let me know what do you feel about the same. I am still getting a lot of questions regarding the Nexon EV. What I'll try to do is I'll try to post a dedicated video regarding my experience of now it's driven 950 kilometers. By next week it will be over 1000 kilometers. So I'll try to post a video there where I'll try to answer many of your questions. Anyways guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care guys.